welcome guys back to the Watchlist podcast. This week we have a really excited. I'm really excited for this episode because this is like one of my favorite things about movies is we're gonna discuss our top 10 endings. We're gonna go in alternate places from 10 to 9. We're gonna start right off the bat with this rather than what we watched last week. We'll do that after the top 10 is finished. So I'm really excited to dive into this. We don't know each other's lists, so I'm excited to see what Luke has. Um, yeah, I have to do honorable mentions. Like I can't not do it because there's so many. Every good ending I watch a movie with, I tag it on Letterbox.
Whoa,
Um,
that
so I
fucking ending.
so I had 150 to pick down to 10. And the kind of the way I was basing it, you can also explain like what makes an ending for you. What makes an ending for me is like there's a reason why certain movies that I think are amazing endings are on here because they're not like the technical ending. It might be like a 30-minute sequence that leads up to the end that I it's like, oh, that's a good ending. It's like those didn't make the list. And my honorable mentions that I'm putting in, they have like one specific small like scene moment that makes it amazing, but like in general, it's not like top 10 worthy. So those like include like Black Swan, Steven Soderbergh's Traffic, which I still believe is the best ending shot in cinema. Um, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is just like fun. It's like a fun ending to me, and it's like in my top 10 for that reason. My top 10 films of all time for that reason, not in the endings. And then I kind of put like Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Call Me by Your Name as a tandem. They kind of have the similar, just like lingering moment with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
credits rolling. Beau Travail for its like use of like dealing like how it portrays a suicide scene is like really cool. American Beauty makes me weep crying. Mommy obviously for its use of music as the ending, which is really cool. Three Colors Blue, Paris, Texas for the shot or whatever, because that's not the technical ending, so I couldn't feel like it because the technical ending is him driving the car, so I didn't feel safe putting that one. And then Blowout for the fireworks scene, which is like absolutely amazing. It just couldn't reach my top 10 because of the fireworks. Isn't like the actual last shot. So, yeah, those are like my honorable mentions that I have to mention. If you haven't seen any of those, I think endings is a great introduction to be like, this is, you should watch this movie because it has a great ending. Because I think endings help you like linger on the movie longer. Like you could not like a movie as much, and then the ending hits, and you just like have a whole new perspective, which is why I love endings so much. So Luke, let's start. He doesn't have any honorable mentions, so I probably look stupid doing
I'll
that.
say one. I'll say one. I'll say one because I
Okay,
thought of
there you
one
go.
as you were saying it, and I kind of So Aftersun would be my honorable mention. I kind
Yeah.
of moved away from like the sad ones for some reason. I don't know, probably opposite from you, but I don't know. I was just like I don't know why, but there's just something about like the sad ending that I was just it was hard for me to get excited about it because I'm like, man, that just like After Sun just makes me like weep like like uncontrollably, which is incredible,
Yeah.
incredible in its own right, but it's just like hard for me to yeah, I don't know, an ending for me, I do like when things aren't maybe as like conventional, like cookie cutter. Some of these I have are like Hollywood movies that like do I like it ties the knot and it kind of like hits a point that is just like nice and it like feels nice. Like I'll do another honorable mention, which is To Be or Not to Be, which we talked about, which is like the the guy standing up and walking out of the theater. Um, like that just feels like, oh, that's perfect, and it's really quick and then
Yeah.
it's done, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like I love that. But yeah, I'll start it off with my number 10. All of mine, I don't know about you. My order is just like, I don't know if I have an order. Like, I was just going off of like,
I don't have an order, but my number one is my number one.
okay, yeah, I kind of figured you would be someone like that. Mine, I could really go around. I don't know, but
Mine are
um,
completely different moods. You'll see, like
yeah,
it's very haymaker. So
okay,
that's
interesting.
probably why they're like different emotions. So it's hard to like rank them because they're like different for different
Yeah,
scenarios and context of the movie. So it's just hard to rank them. So yeah, I agree.
yeah, I definitely get that. Um, but my number 10 is M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. I could
Yeah.
pick any M. Night movie, like he's great endings. Um, Not just because of like the twist, but just like really great endings. Um, I really wanted to go with Trap because I think it is really underrated. Like I think a lot of people hated it. Him kind of we're also spoilers for these movies, right? Like
Yeah, this is huge spoiler video.
yeah,
I think that's like
unfortunately.
I think that's why like you hear the title of the movie, maybe like skip forward. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we do like some chapters in the
Yeah.
video so you can skip to each movie. So if you have seen a certain movie, you can skip to it. You can just look at the chapters like, oh, I haven't seen that one. I'll check it out. So yeah, spoilers for this movie because like it's impossible not to spoil an ending like this.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
kind
end
of
of the
like what it
movie.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so Trap, M Night Shyamalan's Trap. I think it's there's this great kind of he's eating his daughter's cake. You know, his wife convinces him to eat his daughter's cake, and he does it because he loves his daughter. Like he's a real father who loves his daughter. The cake is laced with something. M Night goes into God mode technically with the camera, and it's like filming through like the cabinets, and it's like moving around. And he gets up, and he's huge, and he's like gonna attack the mother. But then he hears out like, you know, in the house, and he goes out, gets tasered, you know, gets arrested, starts walking away, and then he goes, hold on. He kneels down and then picks up his daughter's bike because he
which
loves.
which works with his OCD thing too,
Yes,
because he has like
yes,
OCD tendencies throughout the movie, which is perfect.
yeah. He's very OCD. And yeah, it works on like I think it's such a interesting character because he's a such a psychopath, but his love for his like family is so real and so compelling that when he picks up that bike, it's so emotional for me. And then you know it's what eventually he uses to get his final escape, and you know, um, it pans back to the bike missing like a what do you whatever you call that, like the thing on the bike wheel, and he uses it to like pick his handcuffs, and like, you know, it's like, oh, you think he's gone, like, well, he just broke out of the handcuffs, and it's little like cliffhanger sort of ending, which people really did not like because it's like, oh fuck that, like the movie should have just ended. But I think there's something so cool about him not being able to stop, and like he just keeps going, and it also like the movie's very funny because it keeps that momentum of like how is he gonna get out, and then he keeps doing it. I think, you know, maybe the audience thinking that it's over and then he does get out is even funnier. Like that's so much funnier as like a final ending. But also like it's a very sad thing. Like he hugs his daughter goodbye, and he just can't stop like this addiction of kind of like, you know, being a bad person. Um, it's
Yeah,
very sweet. It's very like complicated, um, and it's fun. Yeah, I love it.
that's definitely it's an ending that I like more each time. I know it's like a little bit before the cake scene, but one of my favorite parts about Trap's ending is like when he knows he got caught basically, and he's like closing the garage door, and he's like, "Oh, babe, by the way, the water heater person's coming." Like the way that he's like, "Uh, don't worry about those kids at school, honey. It's gonna be all right." Like the way that he's like going through like this psychological
Yeah.
stress, but then he's able to like be normal like that at the same time. It's like horrifying. Um,
It makes me so
and I
emotional
mean,
even thinking about that moment.
that's just Josh Hartnett. Like acting is so fucking good in that movie, and that's definitely a movie that I like more each time. And the ending is a great example. With the cliffhanger thing, I still have I still like that it's a cliffhanger, but I want a sequel. Almost, you know what I mean? Like it's like I want to see this because I just love his character so much. I just want to see more
Sure,
of him.
yeah.
It's almost like, man, we didn't get to see enough of his like psycho ness, you know, because it's like towards the end of the movie. I want to see more of that because it's such a good character. It's like, oh man, I want to see a sequel. But honestly, like with so many sequels coming out, I don't mind if M Night just leaves it like that. You can create that stuff in your mind, which is like also makes a good ending. So yeah,
Yeah.
great pick. Yeah, is that your
Thanks.
favorite M Night ending?
I mean, um you know, I don't know. It was just like, like maybe it's one that like probably I would say so. I think that movie means so much to me. I think he's just like the best. Like he has such incredible endings, so it's hard to like pick
Did
one.
you do a thing where you didn't put multiple of a certain filmmaker like in the top 10? Because that's what I did.
Yeah, I'll spoil it. I did not. I tried to do different directors. I was just trying to get
Yeah, mix it
variety.
up a little bit.
I could put all 10 M Night movies, but
Yeah. Okay, so my number 10 is Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac Volume 2.
oh
I guess I kind of see the movies as one, so I'll just say the ending of Nymphomaniac. Um, Brutal fucking ending. I think it hit me like a brick, and it's why they're on rewatch. I think they will be like I'm gonna log it as one movie. It'll probably be a 5 star on rewatch. Nymphomaniac to me is like the perfect mesh between eroticism and like mental health, and it deals with it in such like a grotesque way where it's like, okay, this you can't take this movie seriously. It's oh, it's porn or whatever. Um, I disagree. I think it's a great it's a great commentary on like sex and more so men, honestly. Like the whole movie kind of plays out as a interview between Stellan's character and um, Charlotte's character, and you're just kind of hearing her story and her perspective, and she's talking about all the evils that she's done. And Stellan seems like a great person to be saying this to, as he's like very empathetic. And then towards the end of the Nymphomaniac Volume 2, which I actually prefer over Volume 1, Volume 2 to me brings everything to a full circle of she falls asleep after she tells her story. And then I was like, okay, that's a really sad story. Like, okay, it's a great movie. And then Stellan comes in and begins to rape her. And I'm just like, holy fuck. This is what an amazing movie. It's like someone you barely saw screen time of, but you somehow trusted just in the way that he was listening. Something so simple as that, like being able to listen, and then doing like the most horrific thing because the reason that he says it is because she is a whore, so he didn't think that it could ever be rape because she's had so much sex. Like she would be fine with it. She's had sex with literally everyone, right? He's like, "Oh, it'll be fine." What a what a bleak fucking
yeah,
way to think and ending. Um, it just I kind of just sat in my bed for like an hour thinking about the 4 hours of movie I had just seen because I watched them back to back. It was like, holy shit, this is a masterpiece in my mind. I'm way higher on Nymphomaniac Volume 2 than most people. Like people think there's a big drop off. I think they're like closely in tandem. The only reason I prefer Volume 2 is the way it ends. It's brutal. Yeah. I can't speak on it much more because it's so situational, and like you have to know Charlotte's story to understand why it even hurts, because it's like it's dealing with like men's perception of women in such an interesting way. I think Lars von Trier is like the perfect guy to direct it too. Like he has the great grungeness and fucking he's not afraid to take risks throughout the entire
yeah,
movie, and that ending is just an amazing risk. Um, so yeah, I love Nymphomaniac. I'll leave it there.
yeah. I think first time I watched it, I think in high school, honestly. So I think I was like, yeah, I think this is too much for me, man. But
Yeah,
I really want
it's
to
like an
rewatch them
adult movie.
now. I want to rewatch like all the Lars that I've seen with fresh eyes, because I think he might be like the goat, even though he's like psycho. But
A weird person, yeah.
yeah, cool. That's a cool one. Um, okay, my number 9. I'm gonna avoid spoilers for this one, because you haven't seen it, and it is the Mastermind, Kelly Reichardt.
Whoa.
Um,
Oh shit! I did not know that. I would have watched this so much sooner if I knew it
I
had
mean,
this
I
good of
don't
an
know if
ending.
you'll. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's saying it's like in my like top 10 probably like makes you think of something that it's not, right? Because you have to understand like it's a Kelly Reichardt movie. You know what I mean? Like nothing really happens in, and like but it's it's just like it basically kind of there's something that this protagonist played by Josh O'Connor, who's like an art thief in the movie, um, he's so naive in a lot of ways, and it's kind of like it finally catches up to him in this really unexpected, hilarious, like so funny, kind of like perfect, like tie the bow, like I can't spoil it, but like if you see it, you just it's really special, and I think it makes the movie um, take on like such a greater meaning, and I didn't see it coming quite as much as that. It also like occurs when things are starting to ramp up a bit, and yeah, I mean, that's all I'll say for that. But yeah, it's an incredible movie.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to. That makes me more excited for the movie for sure. Um, yeah. So my number nine is Oppenheimer by Christopher Nolan. Um,
Yeah, it's awesome.
it's so amazing. I kind of felt guilty putting a Nolan in this as like I'm not the biggest Nolan fan, but I think this is Nolan's best movie, and the ending is it's so crazy. I watched it in IMAX right after Barbie, and I remember feeling fear watching that ending when he starts talking about when he goes up to Einstein and you finally hear their actual conversation, or it's like I think you did end the world even if it didn't then, and then it goes to like modern day nuclear stuff, and I'm like, and then Gorenson's fucking
Just
score,
going
and I'm
crazy.
sitting in my seat. It's a packed ass theater, like there's no seat empty. I like saw it like opening weekend, and I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there, and I just like my whole body like tensed up with fear for like the future of nuclear war, and I just like sat. I don't think anyone left right away. I think like everyone is just sitting there and just like a collective awe and shock that it all culminated to this. And then you leave the theater, and that's when like theaters were popping because of Barbenheimer, and you see all these kids with their parents dancing around, knowing that they just got out of Barbie or they're gonna watch Barbie, and they're all super excited, and it feels all like lovey-dovey, and it feels like you just entered a different world. Like you entered a portal leaving that theater, which I'd never felt watching a movie. And I remember like crying on my way to the car. Like I was like trying to hide it because it's like crowded and shit. But I remember crying, being like, these people have no fucking clue. Like these kids have no clue what they're growing up into. And it like made me really sad.
Yeah, fuck.
And it just hit me like a fucking brick.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it just culminates to something that's so perfect. I think it's the best thing Nolan has ever done, and he does it in such like a really cool way, and it's like visually stunning as well. Like you even have like Cillian Murphy like in the jet type of thing, like he's almost in the war. The sound design is nuts. Obviously, the score again is like the score is so perfect for that shot too because it just like builds and builds, and then as soon as the nuclear thing, it has like this drop feature, like it goes up and then down like a swoop, and it kind of feels like the arc of like a nuclear missile, and it's just like I just couldn't believe what I was watching. I definitely I don't know if that was a great day or a bad day because I love the movie so much. But it definitely does get you thinking about like your current state of the world because the whole movie does take place back to when like it's already happened. It's like a history movie. And
Yeah.
then the way that it relates to your present day is so palpable, and it almost makes you think of the whole movie as like, okay, this happens is happening right now, or this
Yeah.
is like relevant to us. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
well
What a
said.
fucking ending.
Yeah. I love that ending. I love that I love endings that like create questions, make you kind of like um reflect in that way. It's just like holy shit, like it's over. Kind of.
Yeah. And
um
I'm glad the first watch was in IMAX with a packed out theater. I want obviously it'd still have a good impact if I saw it at home, but just there's something different about being in a completely dark room with other peers of yours, and you're almost thinking like, what are they thinking in this moment? And you can kind of feel the person next to you tense up. It's like a weird thing. This is why theaters are great.
yeah.
Um, so yeah,
True,
great
true.
movie.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, that's a great one. Okay, my number 8 is I literally like I wrote 10 of them and then I just kind of like numbered off kind of sort of random. But like I mean I
Do you not
definitely
have like do you not have like a number one in your mind?
I mean I wrote one. So
Okay.
but like it didn't come like I had to think about it and like look at all of them and be like yeah, but we'll get there. My number 8 is Goodwill Hunting, which I have such strong feelings for that movie. It was my first favorite movie. It basically made me want to get into film. Changed my life personally. Um, and it's grown with me really well, which I'm happy for. I appreciate a lot of like Gus Van Sant's subtleties as a director that I don't notice initially because I don't know anything about that. But the more I look at that movie, the more I used to think it was just super conventional, and like there's no filmmaking there because nothing's really flashy. Um, but there's a lot of like holding, space in the film that I've just like grown to love so much, and the ending is great. It's just like I gotta go see About a Girl. Um, it's will this is definitely like a more like maybe just straight up happy ending, like that's what you want the character to do. um but I think it still has that moment of he gives the note to Robin Williams' character and you see him driving off, and it carries the weight of he's finally you know making the decision to take a chance and go out and go see the girl and like go have new experiences. um yeah.
Great callback too. It's a great callback.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Son of a bitch stole my line. So great. Um, yeah. So my number eight is also a good ending. It's Before Sunset.
Oh yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
So the reason why I love Before Sunset, I'll go on record to it's up in the air, but for me, there's four movies in my mind that are like the most romantic. In my mind, it's Phantom Thread, In the Mood for Love, Before Sunset, and Carol. Before Sunset though has like the peak of it for me, and it is at that ending when they're climbing the stairwell. Fuck. I don't know what to say. It gives me I'm getting goosebumps right now. Like I get butterflies, goosebumps. I start blushing. There's something about like seeing someone that could have been in your present moment. I think this movie will grow much. I'll grow stronger feelings with this movie the more relationships I get into, and as I grow older, of being like, oh, I missed on this girl, and then like it's almost like seeing your ex for the first like again after a couple years, like that kind of pit in your stomach. That's like at the beginning of the film, and then the whole movie is like kind of
Yeah.
falling back in love with her, and
Yeah.
then it all culminates to like her inviting him in when he's like he has to go, but I think he decides to go upstairs anyways because he's just so infatuated with her. And then the stairwell, their hands like the Linklater like follows their hands going up the stairwell, like holding onto the railing, and they kind of pause in the middle, and their hands are really close, and the way that they look each other in the eyes, I like fall onto the floor. I literally physically like I can't deal with that much romantic shit. That it's like so sweet and sensual. You could feel the pulse between the screen. Like as much as it is between them, you can feel it between the screen and you. Like your lover looking you at the in the eyes for the first time, and you just like crumble to the floor. And then it just brilliantly leads to her singing Waltz, the song that she plays, and the whole time she's mentioned she wrote a song, and then she says his name in the song, and Ethan Hawke's like reaction to her saying his name in the song is like he's like kind of he's so happy in that moment
Yeah.
where where you're just like smiling uncontrollably, and then he's like kind of laughing at like the ridiculousness of him being in this situation, and then it just ends. It just ends on the song when the song ends, and you're just like, holy shit. It's so fucking perfect. I can't deal with it. Honestly, talking about it right now, I don't know why it's only 8. Like I honestly probably should have put it higher, but I don't know. Um, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that movie. It's great in context of the first one, but I think it's still as good out of context. It's just like such a perfect little short movie. It's I don't know. It's a movie of like of expressions to me, which is why I prefer it over Sunrise. It's just like I don't know. It's so fucking good. I can't believe that that movie's even real and that they were even able to like capture such intimate emotions so simply. Like if I don't you've seen so many moments like that in like cheesy rom-coms where they look at each other in the eyes and you don't feel it. But there's something about Before Sunset, like I genuinely don't know how they did it. Like
Yeah.
how he even managed to
It's
like
lightning in a
capture.
bottle.
Yeah. It's so crazy. What a fucking ending.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, why is that not on my list?
Yeah. It's so
Like I
good.
fucked up. But yeah,
It's
that's
kind of better because then it like we're talking about more films, you know? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Yeah, I don't think we'll I wonder if we'll have any of the same.
yeah,
Do you
I'm
think so?
I'm actually interested. You've already mentioned one of mine, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. My number oh okay, yeah, my number 7. Okay. I chose Jean Dielman um just
Okay.
because it's kind of obvious like this one, like I think this movie is so has had such an impact on me, and it's because of this ending. um it's really hard to put specifically Jean Dielman or like work similar to it and like express it in words, because it really is, there's nothing like experiencing that, and it is so effectful because of the full experience and like the duration of watching it. um but when shit goes down, like and you just sit with it, and she goes back to kind of doing, you know her chores stuff, and like, there, it, just the space that creates, and like the switch. I mean, you could talk about like the last day as like the ending, but it's so long that it's weird to like say like,
Yeah.
the last moment or whatever. But yeah, there's just it's a really incredible vibe switch, like is what I'll call it. Like it, and just resonates so deeply for me. Um, yeah, it's one of the greatest films. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it actually kind of works similarly to Nymphomaniac, but in like a completely like it kind of has that same basis of like kind of shocking you with like one moment. The only difference is that they're completely different tonally. Whereas like that last sequence of Jeanne Dielman kind of feels like an action sequence in comparison, and but it's so subtle at the same time to where you're just like it's like
yeah,
a lean in your It's like lean forward in your chair type shit.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
Which is funny
This is what it
because
was leading to? Huh?
yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I was actually explaining why Jeanne Dielman is a masterpiece to someone recently. Because I was like, this is the number one movie on Sight and Sound list. It's a 3.5 hour long about a woman doing chores. One of the most important, one of the most crazy things that happen in the movie is a potato dropping on the floor. Like like I'm just trying to like
Yeah.
egg them on.
Yeah. Rage bait.
And they're like, "Oh, it can't be that good. Like, you guys have to be tripping. Like, what are you guys smoking? Like, what are all these critics and filmmakers smoking?" But I think Jeanne Dielman, you could say that all you want until you watch the movie.
Yeah.
I
I
was kind of like that too, where I was like, "There's no way this movie's good," and then it's just like so slow. Why Jeanne Dielman's so amazing is I start thinking about my own life. It's like so slow where it's like I'm
yeah.
recalibrating decisions I made earlier in life that I might regret, some some romantic gestures I found embarrassing, some things I said to my mom that might have hurt her at a young age. You just start thinking about all this stuff while
Absolutely.
you're not, while also not missing stuff that's happening on screen because it's so slow.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you have time to ponder whatever the
Yes.
fuck you
You have
want.
so much time to reflect, right?
But then Chantal Ackerman also gives you time towards the end to kind of get out of that phase so that she can hit you with that ending to where you lean forward, where you're not like kind of in your mind and then it happens is like, oh shit. Where it's like you're okay, you're back in it, you're back in the film, you're kind of getting back into a dazed state, and then it happens and you're like, holy shit. That
I
movie's a
Yeah, I
masterpiece.
think that getting back is like, even if it's not if not like consciously noticeable on first watch, but like there's a real like shift in, because it's very like monotonous and routine, right? And then there's a clear like shift on like this next day where the thing goes down. And I think that like just signals to the viewer who's watching, even if they don't know something bad is going to happen or aren't like consciously thinking that like it's different, because it's so straight the whole time. The fact that it's different makes you kind of like get back in, and then and then like what you said, then like happens, and it's very shocking.
Yeah. And it's also a great social that movie's just such a great social commentary on women and
Yeah,
it's so
absolutely.
fucking great.
Yeah, great feminist movie.
My number seven is the only one you haven't seen, so I won't spoil it, but it's Lux Æterna by Gaspar Noé.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I think it's visually the best ending ever made. Hmm. The movie's such like a stimulating, like experiment. Deals with the whole movie is basically in split screen, and you're watching and listening to two conversations at once. You see subtitles on both sides of the screen, so you're watching it in French. You're listening to two conversations. You're somehow able to comprehend both conversations
Really?
at the same time, and then all of a sudden the movie switches to a flashbang basically for 20 minutes straight. There's a screen just the lights are flickering for 20 minutes straight. Watch this in a dark room if you've never seen it. Um, and also there's like a slight ringing the whole time. It's like a high pitched ringing, almost like a dog whistle, but for humans. So your ears are like popping because you're hearing the same tone of a sound for 20 minutes straight, and your eyes are basically um, wanting to shut down because you're just like this, and the screen is just flickering at you for 20 minutes, and you're like, what the fuck? And then at the end of the movie, Gasper does something fucking amazing, starting with a close up of Charlotte, and he zooms backwards. A fog rolls in, some music starts playing, and then there's an image. It's not a spoiler because the movie's basically about nothing. There is an image of a cross that shows up in the midst of the fog. It's like a cross. Um, yeah, it's fucking insane. You just see the shadow of a cross in the midst of a fog while all this strobe light's happening. You still hear the ringing, and this dark music starts happening. And it's like the cross is the center. And as a Christian, to me, that felt like it was like, whoa, God's in the room. Like it felt
Yeah.
really strange. Uh, and I think it still would have that impact on someone who's not Christian too, because it's visually so cool And like
Yeah.
so it's the most unique film I've ever watched in my life. It's 54 minutes of fucking bullshit, but like it takes every single risk you can as a filmmaker, which is why Gaspar Noé is probably, in my opinion, the best filmmaker of all time. He's not my favorite. There's Joachim Trier, but I think Gaspar is like the best filmmaker because of the risks he takes. I think he's the biggest middle finger to cinema, which to me is like the coolest fucking shit. He's like the Banksy of fucking movies, and it's so cool to like witness that movie for the first time. I also watched it high as shit with my friend.
Gotta.
Um, it's just a cinematic treat. It's
Yeah.
like taking an edible and just like submitting yourself to whatever the fuck that movie is. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Have you
It's so
seen
cool.
have you seen The Flicker, Tony Conrad?
No,
So
never even heard of that.
it's an experimental film that I bet you Gaspar Noé was inspired for, like, the because all it is a black and white screen flickering for 30 minutes. And it goes at like different pace, and I recommend it. It's
It's called The Flicker.
yeah,
Oh,
The
here it is.
Flicker. It's just, you know,
Cool.
all right, we might get some hate for that, but like it's weird because, like, watch it at night in a dark room, and I just started like seeing things, and like my eyes just like I was like I was sober too, and I just was like I just started like seeing things, and it was fucking crazy, like crazy experience. Also sounds like similar to, I'm pretty sure there was a noise too. It probably wasn't as like intense as Lux Æterna, but yeah, it's, I feel like there's a line there, so I would
You would love
recommend.
Lux Æterna if you liked The Flicker then, because Lux Æterna is like also cool narratively, and it's also like it's doing the flickering in split screen. It's so visually cool.
Yeah,
It's like, bro, what the fuck?
I really want to watch it. Yeah, it looks
It's
really
also
good.
54 minutes, so it's like you can watch that in between whatever the fuck you're
I
doing.
know, I should have
Actually,
seen
don't
it
do
by
that. Actually, don't
oh
do that
wait,
because
yeah.
then you might be stumbling at your next whatever you have a
Yeah.
meeting after, like you're doing it during your lunch break at work or something. Like you're like stumbling at work, or your boss's face is drooping or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay, okay. So, all right, now we're on number 6.
six.
Um uh Mine is Casablanca. Classic,
Okay, you're
right?
going classic here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cuz I
we
mean,
have very different lists.
yeah. I know. I mean, there's just something I just love. I mean, I love a classic Hollywood ending, you know. Um I mean, I will say Casablanca I think is so great to me because it isn't the ending you want, really. Like it's definitely like a, happy ending, and it's not like, this whatever Nymphomaniac Volume 2 ending, but it's like a, like, he doesn't get the girl in the end, right? And I think this is the start of a wonderful friendship, and the plane takes off, and I think the last sequence is really fun. Like, it's a really fun, thrilling ending, and it's one of my favorite set pieces in all of cinema. Is kind of that, I wouldn't call it an airport. It might be an airport, but like whatever, like the hangar, like whatever, where the airplane takes off. Um, and I think the fog looks so beautiful. There's the music score that comes in. Humphrey Bogart's beautiful face and his moment with Ingrid Bergman is just, it just doesn't get better than that. Like, that's the
Yeah,
shit. Like, that's literally,
yeah.
like, it's movie magic right there. And he just, um, selflessly, lets her go off, with the guy. And yeah, I love Casablanca. Casablanca gets a lot of hate now. People don't fuck with Casablanca.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, it's like it's become this thing, I think, because it's like the classic, I would say, like, of like I don't know. It's like definitely like
Yeah.
maybe the classic like Hollywood movie, and so I think
It's
that
a Wonderful Life too is like
yeah, that one
everyone watches that movie.
yeah, that one's people like that one a lot more. I think everyone likes It's a Wonderful Life. I also Citizen
Yeah.
Kane I think is like, I mean also that gets a lot of hate now.
Yeah.
um, but it's strange. I mean, it's because Casablanca is so like fast, you know, where I feel like people would like it because like the dialogue is so quick and it moves really quick. But I think that actually causes people to get bored because they can't follow like the way they talk is different. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's strange to me because it's so good. It gets better with
Yeah.
every watch, I will say. Like I don't know. I watched it when I was really young, randomly, and I probably didn't wasn't into it, and then I've watched it like maybe like 4 or 5 times now, and it just gets better every time. Um,
It got worse for me on a rewatch. It
oh
was at a
really?
5 star and then went down to 4.5. But also like my taste has changed, so it's probably like actually the same. It's just like my criteria for a 5 star is a little
Right.
different. So that's probably what it is. So yeah, it's a fucking brilliant movie. I watched that movie New Year's Eve and I timed it up so that when he says this is the beginning of a great friendship, it turned to midnight.
Oh,
It
that's
was like
awesome.
so it was so amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
Um yeah, my number 6 is Do the Right Thing by Spike
Oh
Lee.
hell yeah.
Fuck
Awesome.
that.
Love
It's
that.
so fucking good. It's also like this is my one exception. It is a really long ending, like the whole last little bit. There's something about the last 30 minutes where the whole first hour and a half it's like so cool, you can feel the heat, it's like kind of fun, but like the way that it's all building up to what it ends up becoming is so perfectly set up and done. Um, it's shocking. Uh, it's tense as fuck. I remember watching it with a buddy of mine, and this is like signified as one of being one of the best endings to me. It's like I just had like a very crazy reaction to like every single moment, like everything being thrown at. And you're like
Yeah.
going back and forth about like who's the good guy, who's the bad guy,
Yeah.
the fire, and then all of a sudden the cops come in, and when the cops come in and they start beating that guy, you immediately your heart sinks and you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. It's
It's like it's so
makes
fucking
my
good.
heart like sink. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, this is I don't know because like they weren't even like a big factor for the whole movie, and then
Yeah,
all of
they
a
only
sudden
come
they
in one other time when they're
which
spraying
is like
the yeah, the
the
yeah,
fire hydrant thing. But then like, oh, they come in when it's most convenient to them, and then they can fucking destroy it. Uh, yeah, it's so, and it's also like starts off by like just one guy being offended by there being no black eye on the wall of the pizza shop,
yeah.
and it's like, whoa, that one guy's reaction turned into police brutality.
Yeah.
It's so fucking crazy
Spike Lee
what
talked about uh
Spike Lee's able to do in that scene.
yeah. Spike Lee talked about, which I thought was really interesting. He said it like in an interview like probably in the 2010s, um that when that movie was released, people were really mad at the or people like he said like real critics would talk about how sad it was that the pizza joint got like destroyed, and like that was really sad. And he was like, they care more about like an Italian person's like shop than a black person's life, and like that was like really things he was dealing with.
Yeah.
I think that was super interesting. I
I
think
think my
about that.
opinion of it is I obviously think I don't think the pizza shop should have been hurt. I don't think the fucking guy shouldn't have died from the police. I think the whole thing is a mess. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
there's no innocent person in that movie, which makes it really sad
Yeah, there
that
is,
it
but
all.
I think what makes it kind of this great social commentary is like what it comes down to. Like
Yeah,
it
exactly.
costs a black man's life. Like you know, people
There,
are
no
not
one,
doing the
no
right
one.
thing.
They're all bad, but there's a greater bad in this
Yeah,
situation,
exactly.
which
Yeah,
is like,
yeah, and
yeah,
it's sparks a lot of like different interpretations too. Like especially like wrong interpretations. right? From just
Yeah.
like racist people who are just like, oh, like
Yeah.
it's their fault or something, right?
Yeah.
But I also love the in the credits he does like, or like I think before the credits is like he does a Malcolm X quote and a Martin Luther King quote at the end.
I
And
almost put Malcolm X for an ending here because I love Malcolm X's ending. I think it's a better movie, but like the ending with the song and it's so good. But
yeah,
I had to put Do the Right Thing because it's like more impactful to me in like in the moment and what makes that
yeah,
movie so great.
yeah, totally. I almost did Bamboozled.
Bro.
I love Bamboozled and Black Klansman. Um, I love that
Dude,
ending.
after you be speaking of Black Klansman, I need to rewatch it because I did not like it when I first watched it.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I have to rewatch this movie.
yeah. No, I think give it another shot.
Okay, number 5, Luke.
Okay. You mentioned this earlier. Blowout. Brian De Palma.
I knew you were gonna put Blowout. This is why I wanted to go first because I like knew you were gonna put Blowout. I didn't want to seem like I was copying. I
uh,
knew you were gonna put Blowout because you fucking love Blowout, and
yeah.
the Blowout ending is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's like, bro, what a perfect movie, man. So John Lithgow has taken I forget the actress name. Shoot, I should really know that. He's taking her to, like kind of like,
Nancy Allen?
yeah, Nancy Allen. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, he's like, she has a wire, and John Travolta's listening, and he's following her, trying to catch John Lithgow in like the subway, and um, you know, things he loses her, and John Lithgow takes Nancy Allen to, the where the fireworks are happening. It's very loud, and it's obviously just like the most incredible, gorgeous like
The
filmmaking.
fireworks shot is like my favorite shot in cinema, I
It
think.
literally, like, it might be mine too. It's so incredible, and then it kind of like quickly transitions. You were talking about it's not the real ending. It goes to like the ending, which is
Still like the
basically,
real ending though. The
yeah,
screaming shit. It's
um,
still so good.
yeah. So it just goes to like John Travolta. Basically he was just trying to. He's recording like Foley sounds for film. That's his like job. He's trying to get this good scream for like a slasher, like dumb slasher film. And so because she was wired up, you hear this. She screams from being murdered. And it cuts to him in the theater watching the scream, and they're like, "That's a great scream." And he's like, "It's a good scream. It's a good scream." And he's like real like about to cry, like on the brink of tears. And it's such a good performance. Like that's just how it ends, and it's like chef's kiss actually.
I think it's perfect because you don't think it's gonna wind up like that because the first scene is like the actual B movie horror movie that they're showing, and then like the scream's horrible, and it's like the whole movie they're like, get the scream, get the scream. Never once when I was watching that movie, I was like, oh, it's gonna end with like her
Yeah,
dying and getting the
that's a
scream.
good
It's like
point.
so weird. Like you feel like the movie should be predictable in that way,
Yeah,
but it's not, and which that's what makes the movie so fucking good.
yeah,
Is like that ending, like hitting it with the even when she dies and when she does scream when she is dying, you're not like, oh, that's gonna be used to the scream because you're so into the moment. And then as soon as it pans out from the theater, and oh my god, it's fucking brutal.
yeah.
Like what the fuck?
So
Who
brilliant.
thinks of this shit?
I know.
I
Yeah,
guarantee you that's one of those movies that De Palma like started with the ending, and he's like, okay, how do I build that up? It's like, oh, maybe he like does sound recording. It's like some shit
yeah,
like that. He
yeah.
had to build that from the ending because that's an
It's too
ending you can't
perfect.
like
Yeah,
fall on. You can't fall on that. And be like, oh, this is how I end the movie. Here you go,
I
you
know.
guys. It's like one
Yeah,
of the greatest endings ever. And that's probably with most of these movies though. It's like I'm someone who I can't start writing a movie if I don't know exactly what the ending is. And like the opening shot and the ending shot are like the most important to me. It's like how do you hook the viewer and how do you leave the viewer? A lot of the other stuff doesn't have to be perfect, but those two scenes have to be absolutely perfect. Which brings me to Aftersun as my number 5.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, it's probably yeah, fuck. So Aftersun's one of two movies ever in my life I've watched twice in one day. Um, the other one being Autumn Sonata. Aftersun, I watched it with my girlfriend at the time, and I liked the movie. I liked it. I was like, this is a really good movie. And then the ending happens, and I was like, okay, I want to shoot myself now. What the fuck? And then my parents had to get me out of it because they were like, dinner. So we walked
Yeah.
over, and my girlfriend was shocked at the time too. She's like, what the fuck? We're just sitting there at the table, like, and they're like, what's got you crazy? It's like the movie you just watched. We're explaining it to them, and I was like, you know what, you guys, you want to watch this movie with us? So we finished dinner. My entire family came over, and we all five of us
Oh
watched it again.
wow. So you and
And
your ex girlfriend watched it twice?
yeah,
Wow.
and it's her favorite movie of all time. So like, I don't know, that ending is so fucking good. It's also there's like multiple endings within the ending. You have you have the song with the dancing and the strobe of the visual stuff, but I genuinely think like the last shot is the best thing. Like when you're panning, the whole 360 pan is so fucking good. The invisible pan from the TV, and then you're into the New York apartment and you just see her staring at the camcorder, and then it goes back to the wall that perfectly goes back to the hallway of the airport, and you
Yeah.
stand there and you see Paul Mescal's reaction. He puts the camera away, he walks back, and then the best fucking thing is
Yeah.
he walks through the door, and just a little bit through the swinging of the door you can see the black strobe, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my fucking. And the song that plays at the end is so good, One Without. I think that became like my number one listened song to that year because it was so good. I would just listen to that on repeat. It would make me really depressed. Like I would just listen to it. I'd get really sad thinking about the end of that movie, and then I'd write the best shit I've ever written. It's like so perfect, that song.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's like probably one of the most influential movies in my life as like a
Same.
filmmaker. It's like, oh shit, this is like the type of shit I want to make and impact. It Yeah, what a fucking movie, and the ending is just like far and beyond the best thing that it has to offer.
Yeah, it
And
probably
it's so heartbreaking too.
so
So
heartbreaking. I
heartbreaking.
mean, the first time I watched it, I don't really cry for movies that much. I was like uncontrollably sobbing like the rest of the day. Like I couldn't handle it. And that would probably be my number one, but I think it's literally too sad where I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so sad. Okay, Luke, you're number 4.
All right. Um Napoleon, Abel Gance.
Okay. Great. Great
Yeah.
ending.
It's mainly just because of that fucking triptych shit he's doing. I mean, there's it's one of the single greatest achievements in cinema, and I've just never been that like awestruck watching something just like fully like, you know, mind blown like watching it, and it's just so amazing, it's so beautiful, and you know it's going through the colors, and um it's pretty long too in that moment. um I mean, I don't it kind of is like this big kind of thing, and there's not a lot of like narrative detail, but um I mean, I just remember just being like fully like this, because it is so technically profound throughout, but just to save like this kind of like brilliant technique for the end, and then just be like, oh yeah, you think that's all I got, and then like do that shit is just it's awesome. um
I'm so sad that he wasn't able to make the rest of that because
mhm.
that was only one of like what, 7 movies he had planned, and they're
Yeah,
all gonna be like 5 hours long. It was supposed to be like a 50-hour movie or some shit. It's
yeah,
like
something like
he only
that.
scratched the surface of Napoleon's
I
story.
know,
It's like,
it's
it's like,
crazy.
bro, what? How long did he think he was gonna live for? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love Lux Æterna then because I kind of have like a similar thing
Hmm.
with like it's like a modern day version of what Abel Gance is doing in that movie to me. My number 4 is not to be confused with the original, but Luca Guadagnino's Suspiria.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the major reason why I prefer Luca's version over the original. I know that's hearsay or whatever, but yeah, I think it is the single most scary thing ever put on screen. Uh, Luca literally puts hell on earth in that final little bit. Um, I remember being the most. It's not like jump scary. It's like haunting. You can like feel it in every bone in your body. Like it's shivering. It's like it's like your body's like trying to take your arm to turn off the TV. Like it's like please turn off the TV, please. And I kind of just force myself to sit there and watch, and I'm just what the fuck? This wasn't in the original. Like I was not expecting that.
Mm.
It takes that last sequence in in the original just to new heights. Like it has the same premise of like, oh, she finds out what's underneath the school or whatever. And Luke is like, why don't we just make it the literal hell? Why don't we just show and like the way it's shot too is so cool. Like I like what Luke is doing with like the shadows and like making these people that you've seen the whole movie like really fucking scary and they look like they're morphing in real time. There's like a weird like haze, but it's like the haze of a fire. It's like you're at the top of the flame. It's almost like a lot like what a lot of westerns do with landscapes, where you can see the heat. It's like you can see the heat in that room, and you can see the fear on Dakota Johnson's face. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And you're just like horrified. I think my heartbeat raised to max level I could do before a heart attack. Um, if I'm old and I ever watch this movie, I think I would die on the spot. Like a little, like a couple more years of smoking cigarettes, I think I'll die watching that movie. I think I'm gonna have to retire Luca Guadagnino's Suspiria after a little bit. So yeah, fucking. That's I think that's the ending that impacted me the most, like emotionally, which is why it goes so high. Like more so than like I think fear is more like present than sadness. Sadness is such a like a normal feeling, whereas fear you feel way more uncomfortable, and so it feels a lot more impactful emotionally because you're like I'm not used to feeling this scared.
Yeah.
It felt like I was gonna die almost. It's like oh this is like I've never been close to dying, but like someone murdering me or something. But it feels like this movie's gonna murder me. So yeah, scary ass fucking movie. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I think I've said on the podcast before that I need to rewatch it, and you know, I love Luca, and I love and Muck Debrum shoots that one, and I just need to, and I, yeah, I've said that I
Yeah.
need to watch it again. Um, all right, my number three is, maybe my favorite movie. Like, if I hate answering what's my favorite movie, but if I have to answer, I would probably say Mishima: A Life in Four Chapters.
Yeah.
um, oh man. So I think what makes this really special to me is, um, it's very. I kind of love how anticlimactic it is, and he's going and he's delivering this speech he's dying to deliver, in front of all these like kind of troops, and just no one's listening to him, and he's getting shouted at, and he's just pouring his heart out, and you can see him just like you know kind of internally freaking out, but still trying to like believe in himself and keep going, and you know doesn't work out, and he has to go back and commit harakiri on himself. And it's so sad. And like, I mean, it's like the guy who he's tied up and like kidnapped in the room like is like talking to him like you don't have to do this, like and like clearly they have kind of like a camaraderie, which is an interesting dynamic because he like kidnapped him and now he's gonna kill himself on his floor. And and then so in harakiri, they have to basically cut kill like cut their chest open in like a cross shape.
And they go up.
Yeah, and and then if I think I don't know if it's like they always do it or if they just don't die right away, but they have someone holding a katana, like a sword, ready to chop their head off. And so then there's they like one of Mishima's uh, troop people is like holding the sword, ready to chop his head off, and like cuts to him. He's like shaking, so nervous, like he's really gonna do it. And then it kind of it's just a long break where it's a long part where you're just like, is he really gonna fucking do it? Like it didn't work. Like his thing didn't work. Is he gonna just kill himself? And then it does like a dolly zoom, and then it's like, yep. And then it goes into a montage of like, his art and um that's just like it's kind of like, oh, at the end of the day, like that's what lives on. He did his work. And then it ends, the last shot is of like the most beautiful sunset you'd ever see. Great movie.
You know what I'm just realizing is like our favorite movies kind of have like a similar ass tone with that. Like in Worst Person, like he's talking about his art as he's dying.
Mm.
He doesn't commit suicide, but he dies of cancer, and then
Mm.
the movie basically ends on a beautiful sunset. And it's like,
Oh
what the
yeah.
fuck? It's like very similar. Like I'd never realized that until you're explaining the ending again. Because I haven't seen Mishima in a while, and I have the criterion for it. I need to
Mm-hmm.
revisit it. I love Mishima. His character is like obviously real. Like that's a real guy.
Yeah.
He's so eccentric. It's crazy that like that's someone who lived like his whole like obsession with like lifting weights, and I thought that was really funny and shit. But the ending is great. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
sad. I agree. So my next two are like really predictable. These are probably the ones you're predicting.
Okay.
My number three is Oldboy. Uh, like fucking, this is like fuck yeah. This is like how you make a fucking ending. The whole penthouse sequence is my favorite sequence in cinema. What can I say? It's fucking so cool. The plot twist never fails to impact me every time I watch it. The movie doesn't get worse because it's a plot twist movie, which I think shows how good of a movie it is. It's like I appreciate different parts. Um, I think the villain is so fucked up. Like he's so fucked up. Like people don't understand. He fucking raped his sister, bro. Like he's fucked up.
I think they do understand.
Like but no one like talks about him about when they talk about this movie. Maybe it's because it's a spoiler.
Mm.
But like everyone's talking about him cutting off his tongue or him barking like a dog. I love his fucking penthouse though. He has this closet that's in like a box, and then it like opens up like seemingly out of nowhere, like senses that he's there. He's like like there's a split diopter shot. I know we were talking about split diopters, they're just so overhyped. But but Park Chan Wook actually does something interesting with it, where he does a split diopter in the mirror, which is
Overrated.
so fucking cool. And it's like, what the fuck? And his like facial expression, the obviously the cutting off the tongue and like barking like a dog. He'll do whatever, like him begging for his daughter to like not open the box, like the this kind of slow motion shots where it's like it's obviously unrealistic when the guy's throwing him up against the glass. It's like there's no way that's physically possible. It seems like he's on a string like hitting it, and then like he sits there and then the glass kind of shatters and then it falls on him. It's like, okay, that's not realistic either. There's something so cool about it. Um, but then there's when after he's done, he like goes into the elevator, and then it cuts to him like he in the elevator. He puts his arm down. He shoots his arm down, and then it cuts to him in high school with his sister hanging by his arm, and he's like crying, and she's like, "Let me go" or whatever, and then he like lets her go, and then he shoots himself in the head, like seemingly out of nowhere. It's like so fucking cool. And I can't deal with it. And then you have the whole snow sequence where he forgets his memory, and then the whole end shot is like the mountains, and it's just panning on the mountains. It's just the perfect fucking shit ever. It's why the movie was like, that's why the movie continues to be so cool because I don't think the plot twist is obviously what's everyone talks about in that movie, but that's not what that makes that scene great. There's so many other elements in that scene that are perfect, and they're like so. I don't know. If you've seen the movie, it impacts everyone who watches it, good or a bad way. A lot of people don't like the movie because of the themes it's dealing with, like with rape and incest or whatever. Um, I think that's like unimportant in the scope of what's actually happening in the scene, like why that scene's so cool. And I don't believe anyone who says they predicted the ending. Fuck them. They don't. They can. They don't. They didn't.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. So yeah, great fucking ending. Holy shit.
Cool. Okay. My number two is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
You know, it's like it's just one of the.
Every time you mention it every episode, you're just like pointing
I
at it.
gotta.
At the end of the year, we're gonna do a montage clip of you pointing to your
Just like
poster.
every episode.
It's gonna be 2 minutes long.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, there's like the whole like visual sequence. I think that sequence is underrated. Like I don't think people seriously. I don't think
Really?
people talk about like just because I don't know. I think there's just a level of it where like it's obviously like trippy and cool, but like technically like how that's achieved is so impressive. And he's not only doing like colors, like he's doing like different like it looks like infrared or like they're really manipulating like the celluloid it looks like and like interesting ways. I don't know how he did it and I haven't looked into it, but that's just kind of like I mean it's very famous, but it's like it's so insane. And then it goes into kind of him in this room and he sees his older self, dying self, and then there's the kind of floating baby, which I think is kind of the greatest like up to interpretation ending, because I think there is like kind of a plausible path you could go on with it. It's interesting too in like I mean there is like the existential like what's our place in this universe, like it's surreal and it taps into that for sure. And kind of obviously the movie talks about technology a lot and the dangers of it, and it's kind of about that. But I still think there's really in like there's really not a consensus on it, and I think like really, which is not very common for a movie this popular that even would have an open-ended ending. I think usually like at least in like academia like there would be like a somewhat consensus on like this is what they're trying to say. I think it's still pretty broad with 2001 in this way where you could take a moment from that ending and completely go in and like go on a complete trail of thought about that specific thing. And I really don't think two people on Earth are watching this movie and going down that same exact road.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion. But I love it so much. Every time I watch it, I'm just in awe of the filmmaking, and every time I watch it, I think of something new about it, which kind of gets into what I was just saying. And I love it for that reason, because it never gets old, and it never ceases to make me like think I'm just constantly thinking during those final moments. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, great fucking movie, great ending. Yeah, my number two is also very predictable. It's Babylon.
Oh, yeah,
Uh, cinema, bro.
cinema.
I think what I was saying earlier, where like everything's mixed up, but I have a number one. I think I do have a number two. I think this is my number two for sure. Um, Babylon has that sequence at the end with him watching Singing in the Rain in the theaters, and he starts crying, and I've cried every single time. So Babylon used to be my favorite movie when I first watched it in theaters. Um, it like took the place of Shawshank Redemption, which is like a big deal because like when I was just getting into film, Shawshank was the shit, and then I
Yeah.
watched Babylon. Um, but then like 2 months later, I watched Worst Person, and then I
Oh,
was like, fuck Babylon.
yeah, big year.
But Babylon was is a movie where I like the ending more every time, and I just watched it in January of this year with my brother for the first time, and I was leaning forward. I couldn't see the screen because I was crying so hard, and I was physically shaking. Like I was like this. Like and my brother was like laughing at me. He was like, "Bro, what are you doing?" Um, I think the movie signifies why I love movies so much. It just shows them like I'm getting emotional. Like it
Yeah.
just showing it just shows the montage of the first shot, and then it even goes to like Avatar, which people are like, "Why is Avatar in this shit?" It's like because it was a big step in cinema. Like, what are you talking about? The fact that Damien Chazelle is like conscious enough to be like, this is a big jump in cinema, and not be like, oh, it's super recent. People are gonna hate on me for putting a shot of Avatar in here. Like he doesn't give a fuck. Like he knows what cinema is,
He knows ball.
and it shows so many cool movies I love too. It's like Persona and fucking 2001 or whatever. I don't know. It's just his emotion, and then like the sound design is so great, and then it like cuts back to the theater, and then he kind of tracks back on the theater,
Yeah.
and you can see these people at the end of each row, and they're all different. You have an old guy, you have a kid, you have a couple making out, and it
Hmm.
seems like so in your face, like okay, here it is. Like it so seems so unnatural to be placed like that, but it's like nah, I don't give a fuck. And then it like tracks back up, and you can see the whole theater, and they're all like laughing and looking at the screen, and the screen's like glowing on their face, and then you go back to the main character, and he's like crying, and then it starts building up, and then it does all that montage shit with the fucking colors and the
Yeah.
fucking
I
film
love that
going
shit.
through, and like I don't know, it's so fucking perfect. Like I think it's like the movie is about cinema, and it ends with actual cinema. It's like feels like an ode. It feels like a magnum opus to cinema, similar to like I would put Resurrection in
Yeah.
that area now too. I mean, it doesn't reach the heights of Babylon, where Babylon's like constantly funny and entertaining, where like the hour and 15 or 3 hours and 15 minutes like flow by. Like Babylon does not feel like a 3 hour movie. It's
It's
like
very fast.
it's kind of like Wolf of Wall Street in that, where it's like constantly doing something to where you like can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it
They're both
like
very
it's not
fast.
afraid to like hit the emotional aspects. I even cry when like they're running away, and they kind of are looking for gas, and she doesn't give a fuck. She's like, oh, they're dancing over here, and they start dancing, and it's like, oh, we're getting married, and it does like the celluloid framing of like them dancing together and kissing for the first time. I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, okay. I'm like, what the fuck? And like even when he brings his kid back to the studio, and it's like, yeah, I used to work here. It's like how time changes, and he looks so
Hmm.
much older, and I don't know. And then like it does some flashbacks like the first night he met her, where she's like going out of the estate to the sunset. She's like dancing, right? Like during the whole sequence of the colors. It's like it's so well edited, and yeah,
Yeah. It's
I
kind
don't
of like
know.
Trap, like Margot Robbie's character, where like she just, you think, oh, they're gonna like finally like do the right thing and like contain themselves, but they just like can't stop.
They're about to make it out, and she like
Hmm.
just leaves the car and starts dancing and just goes away into the darkness.
Yeah.
And then even like when he's up in that apartment and the guy comes in and shoots all of them, I like how it like misses him, shoots the entire room but him, and like he lets him go, get out of town type thing. It's like, whoa,
Hmm.
this is so strange, and he doesn't even have time to like look for her longer than he wants to, right? He just has to go. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
that
It's
that
brilliant.
ending means a lot to me because I think like it is about cinema, but you know what you experience over the 3 hours is like kind of how horrible and you know how like evil the like just Hollywood can be, like you know making a black man do blackface and
Face.
you know making you know this like horrible shit it puts the actors through where you know Brad Pitt's character like kills himself and you know how it treats you know
Which
it's
that's like one of my favorite scenes too.
it's a
I
brilliant yeah I
So
mean we could
good.
talk about you know that movie for a long
Babylon.
time.
We could talk about Babylon longer than it is. Like we could
Yeah.
talk about it for 4 hours.
Exactly, but yeah I think
Break down every scene.
the ending is so like poignant because it's like you know after all this heinous shit it's like we look is it like is it worth you think it's worth it like it's just like it's so gorgeous and so magical and so like you know it's such a cathartic experience you know man he's having in the theater and it's what we all have you know and have it in that moment watching that final scene and it's just like man after all that shit like is it worth it and it like it kind of is I don't know I don't know if it is it's very like you know it's kind of this gray area but it's really I don't know it's really fascinating and I think it's brilliant because of that like in the context of the movie.
You know what I'm thinking about too is you know what he does in the theater? He falls asleep.
Mm.
He falls asleep in the theater and then he wakes up and starts crying.
Shout out Lav Diaz.
Yeah, like what? It's so perfect.
Yeah,
Like it's cool because it also like he wakes up to the singing in the rain portion of the movie and like he like produced a singing in the rain thing earlier in his career, right? They were doing a whole singing in the rain thing.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
weird
cool.
like in universes that's like you know
Yeah.
if he's watching like a movie that is inspired by from him that's like that's why it's so impactful or is it just like because it's
I
you
never
know
think about it like that. I think it's like just like a genesis of a memory
yeah
that's like so beautiful. And then like he's also like kind of looking around and he's hearing everyone laugh and he can feel the energy of the
yeah
room and he's like,
it's a
man, cinema never
theater
died.
yeah.
It's like, oh shit. It's like what I felt in Oppenheimer. Just crying at the screen, just like fuck.
Like, holy shit.
Okay, your number one. Is this your actual number one? Like, do you think this is the greatest ending ever?
You know, I think all of these are it's so hard to compare. Like I can't. I will say
Yeah.
I chose this as number one because it's probably the ending. I do think about Babylon a lot. Like that one should have been on my list. Like fuck whatever. Uh, but this one is probably the ending I think about the most and had a big impact on me. And like I think it was just like I think about this all the time, and it's definitely impacted like my work as a filmmaker, and like it of like how I want to feel when a movie ends. Like I think it just works in that way, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I chose it. But like all of these are great. You know, all the ones you said
Yeah.
are great. You know, but sure, I'll say this is my number one. It's the 400 Blows.
Cool.
Francois Truffaut because well I think so it's the boy is running away he escapes kind of like this like kind of like boarding school kind of thing that's like literally is like a prison um and so he escapes and you know someone's chasing him and he's kind of like you know running through the like nature you know trying to escape doesn't know where he's going right but he just like needs to get out of there it also occurs after like kind of a very disappointing meeting with his mother I'm pretty sure it's his mother and then they I think his dad doesn't show up and so he it's just it's a very it just made him feel so empty, and there's this kind of like hopelessness that he has.
Yeah.
There's this hopeless feeling in the movie that it's like, these things kind of culminate into like he has no choice, like, and so he escapes and runs free, and then he starts running. Have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure
Yeah.
because I just don't know.
Of course.
Okay, so so he's running. Gets to the beach. He's running towards the beach. He goes a little bit in the ocean, and it's just kind of hopelessly, just like, look around. He doesn't know what to do. Like he's even like he sees the ocean. He could have stopped, but he keeps going a little bit, and then he just comes back, and then looks at the camera, and then it does a freeze frame, very
And then like
very
zooms in.
famous, yeah, freeze frame, and zooms in on his facial expression, which is breaking the fourth wall at the camera, which is just like fuck, what do I do? Like I don't know what to do, right? And almost like looking at us for help, or like it's so brilliant, and it makes me so emotional. There's also a really incredible score, that's very simple too, but yeah, there's just something about the way that ending makes me feel, and it's so cinematic. That is just pure cinema of him running to the ocean.
Yeah.
Because you create this narrative in your head where it's like, what's he gonna do? Like, where's he going? Right? He doesn't know where he's going. He just knows that he has to run. Um, yeah, that's the shit.
The 400 blows ending reminds me, this might be stupid. It reminds me a little bit of La Dolce Vita's. Um, Maybe just because of the beach ending, but I have like a similar feeling to that where they're like all going back to party after they partied for a long time, and he like doesn't want to go. He's just kind of sick of the fucking party at this point. He just kind of sits there on the beach. Also, like the freeze frame, like fourth wall break reminds me of like Memories of Murder, which I almost put on here,
Mm-hmm.
where like he looks at the camera, which if you read the backstory, it's like because they never found the killer, and Bong Joon Ho was hoping the killer would watch the movie, and so he wants the character to look right at the killer, which is so fucking cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Like just little things like that. But okay, my number one movie ending. What do you think it is?
Worst person?
Nope.
Uh,
So the best ending of all time, in my opinion, is Modern Times by Charlie
oh
Chaplin.
yeah, you have said that.
So yeah, Modern Times is the greatest movie ending, and I very much doubt it'll ever change. Um, yeah. So I didn't like the movie. I liked the movie. I didn't love the movie, until the ending. I remember an experience. I was watching it on my TV back in Eugene, Oregon, and my friends were all going out to party that night, and we needed to go get alcohol. And I kind of timed it where I like, okay, we're leaving at 9, so I'm going to start it at 7 or whatever, right? So I have time after. But little things happen where I had to pause or whatever. They're all getting their shoes on ready behind me in behind the couch, and I'm watching on the couch, and they're like, "Come on, Eli, let's go." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!" I like yelled at them, "Shut the fuck up, bro! I'm watching this shit." Because like
Watching Chaplin.
what happens at the end of the movie, and they're all like heckling me in the back. They're like, "Oh, you're watching a silent film. What the fuck's going on the whole movie?" And then all of a sudden, just the beauty of this movie, the whole movie's in silent, and then he starts singing, and then I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm hearing Charlie Chaplin's voice for the first time. What the fuck? I immediately start thinking what the fuck the people in the theaters were thinking watching this, right? It's not marketed as a talking picture. It's marketed as a silent. Like I thought it was a silent the whole time. Imagine the people back then, they're going to the theater and like, okay, another Charlie Chaplin production, and then boom, he starts singing, and he's the funniest thing, he's singing in rubbish. He's not even singing in words. And his voice and his cadence and the beat behind him, and he'll pause for a second, and he's dancing, and it's like it's like the beauty of what made the talkies. It's like, okay, this is so cool. It's like it almost feels like an introduction in between two worlds. It's like, okay, you can watch every silent film ever made, last silent film you ever watch is Modern Times. Boom, Modern Times, and then you introduce a whole new world. That's what it feels like to me. It's like a
Yeah.
gap in space time continuum, and it's done in such like a fun, pleasant way that's speaking gibberish. It's so smart. I don't know if he was purposely thinking about that. I know he's like a comedian, so maybe he just always had that in his mind, but I don't know if he ever thought like his first line of dialogue would ever be like some gibberish bullshit. And it just makes it's why I love Charlie Chaplin so much. His filmmaking is so cool. And he's the reason that he's speaking gibberish is he's in backstage and he's like trying to get a job and they're all like, "Okay, you got to get out there." And you can see him go out there with this what he's supposed to sing on his arm. And he starts dancing and then you can see someone like grab his arm and wipe whatever was written off his hand. And you can kind of see like the chaos and I'm like, "Oh no, is like he not going to sing anymore and he's just going to dance and leave and it's the end of the silent film?" And then boom, he just starts singing whatever the fuck it is, and it's so fun. You could see the reactions of the people that are like all the extras, and to me, it's almost like they know what they're a part of, which is something I've never seen before in a film. Like they know that they're a part of Charlie Chaplin speaking for the first time, and you can kind of like he's such a big star back then. I imagine that they're even flabbergasted they're in the same room with Chaplin,
Mm-hmm.
and just hearing him speak probably to them is like weird. Even though he's the director and he's probably spoken to them before, but it's like, oh, the camera's rolling. You kind of
Mm.
see like them break the fourth wall in the background, like they're like they're over exuding it a little too much, whereas some other actors are like completely chill, and the music's just so good. I love music in film, so it's just like the perfect way to end a film. I wish I liked the everything that happens before a little bit more. Like I'd probably give it like a 3 star or 3.5, but then the fucking ending happens. I'm like, holy shit, peak, peak cinema in my opinion. So yeah, I knew you weren't gonna
Yeah.
guess
But I
Modern
think you
Times.
have said that, so I just.
I think it's because it was a pinned review on my profile on
Mm.
Letterboxd. It's like, oh, is this the greatest ending? Yes, it is. The reason Worst Person's not in here is because it the ending is so fucking long in my opinion, and then like the last shot is like the epilogue, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like a huge fan of. You know, like the epilogue of just being like the masks and then her looking at the computer. I love it, but it's not top 10 ending worthy. I
Yeah.
like everything that happens before that a lot more. So yeah, those are our top 10 endings. I like how we didn't have any crossovers, but I
Yeah.
think we appreciate everyone's picks. Like I like all of your endings
Yeah.
a lot. Like I could have mentioned those as well. Um, they're all really cool, and we both said one that we didn't watch, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I was
True.
almost I was almost thinking like I'm gonna mute you and just like act like I'm listening and like you just spew or whatever you need to say about the mastermind or whatever. But it's cool. Um, okay, so we're changing up the format a little bit now. We used to do what we watch in a week at the very beginning of the episode, but we thought since you're clicking on the video, we might as well um, satisfy your guys' needs and desires to like watch what you clicked for right away. And if you guys want to stay longer and see what we watched for the week, if you guys liked our opinions, maybe you want to have some more recommendations, this is the place to get it. We watch a lot of movies throughout the week. Some you probably have seen, some maybe you haven't, and so it's always good to get recommendations. I love watching podcasts to get recommendations as well. Um, so yeah, would you like to tell us what you watched since we last filmed an episode?
Yeah.
We could be a
Okay.
little quick on this time too, as well.
Yeah. So I watched Pedro Moldovar's The Room Next Door, which people don't like it because this movie's fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. People like
Interesting.
it's an English language movie with Tilda Swinton and Julianne Moore and John Turturro, who gives a
Right?
really good performance. And
Really?
yeah. Okay, here's the thing. There are some parts of the movie that are like really bad, like straight up like bad. I like the movie. I think the movie's pretty good. But I really like when actors are acting really weird and they're talking really weird. Like I just love that shit. I love when movies feel really weird. I don't know why. I mean, there's times where
Like
it's not.
even the bad parts, like even the parts that are bad, or you actually didn't like those parts?
No, I didn't like those parts. Like I think like there's
Okay,
parts
okay.
of the movie that are like straight up like this is really bad.
Yeah.
But you know, there's parts that are pretty good. Um, yeah, it's just kind of like it's a really strange movie. Um, with the movies that feel really weird, there's always kind of like you have to kind of think of intentionality and is it intentional? Because if I don't feel it's intentional, then it's not. It's not good, right? It has to. You have to feel like it's worth it. This one's strange because I kind of think it is intentional, but is also him doing English, not his native language, and so he might just be like, just not know because of that reason. Um,
Has he done English language movies before?
I
I'm
don't
trying to think
know.
if I've seen a Pedro movie. Have I
Uh,
seen a Pedro Almodovar movie?
wait, he did.
No, I haven't.
He did. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, even if he has, I don't think he. It's not his native language, and so
Yeah.
people are. I think it's like easy to point at that and say it's the reason it's all weird, which is fair, but the circumstances around the film's topic is someone who's dying of cancer and is gonna kill themselves, right? And the way they act about it is kind of very noble and very like honest, right? And that's a weird thing. It takes like a strange perspective on doing something like that. So I think that weird tone really kind of works. And the movie's also very pretty. He like this guy likes color. Um, it looks pretty good. And it's great actors. So it's not like their best work, Julianne Moore and Tilda Swinton, but it's 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 fun to
It's
watch.
good enough. It'll pass.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll
then
give you an A.
then I watched How to Make a Killing, which you also watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about it now.
Okay. Yeah. Um. So, oh man, it's so hard to talk about this movie because it's pretty dumb. I think it's like just kind of like dumb and it's stupid, and I don't like a lot of like formal choices in the movie. Like I think are pretty bad. However, I kind of like Glenn Powell as an actor, and I can like stay with it like that. What really kind of made this movie entertaining is, I think, Zach Woods and Topher Grace. I love Topher Grace as an actor, and Zach Woods was like real funny, and like their presence was just like, okay, this is kind of fun, and um, I think they work in it well. And then I think the third act is kind of
Whatever.
lame, but yeah, what did you
We
think?
both gave it the same rating if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think the biggest thing to knock on it, I think it's the most obvious thing, is the narration the whole time.
Yeah,
Fucking brutal. Uh, it just gets annoying after a while. I thought it was like an intro thing, and then it just never stopped.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and I think it just ended really strangely. Like what? I don't I don't know. It just didn't land how I thought it was, and it's not like it's unpredictable in a good way. It's like unpredictable in a horrible way. To where it doesn't feel satisfying. I don't know. I don't think it's a very like I don't think we could talk about this movie for that long. It's like very meh. It's like the most meh movie, and I think it'll stay like one of the most meh movies of the year. Where it's just like, okay, I can enjoy watching it, but then afterwards, it's one of those just instantly forgettable fucking movies, man.
yeah,
It's just like you instantly forget whatever the fuck you just watched. It's fun in the moment at times, but it's like whatever.
yeah. I mean, I think with it kind of just because we just watched Project Hail Mary, I was thinking about like the like structure of starting with kind of how they end up, um, or right, and then going. It's different, but like, um,
Yeah.
you know, it's you know how they're gonna end up. In Project Hail Mary, it's a flashback that you're watching, and you know where he goes. But like with this movie, it also is like, you know, he's gonna like get caught instantly. And I just think it's not that that's necessarily like a bad thing, like straight up, but I think it's hard to make work for me because I just struggle getting invested in like the um
I think that's what makes it so dumb. It's like the way that he gets caught. It's like, bro, are you serious?
oh
Like
yeah,
that they probably think that it's smart. It's like, oh, you think he's gonna get
yeah,
caught for
right.
all this killing,
I
but
didn't
nope.
feel it though. Like
It's
I
like,
didn't
bro,
feel
nope,
like I was like I didn't like care enough. You know what I mean? To
no,
be like,
no, because like you already know he's caught. It's like, okay, this is how he gets caught. That's fucking brutal.
yeah,
That's not cool at all. It's
yeah,
like the most anticlimactic way ever.
in like a bad way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah. All right. I think enough said. Uh.
yeah.
Oh, I watched Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Um.
Oh, I don't know where to find it online. I literally can't find it.
All right, I'll send you a link after.
Please. Yeah.
uh, it's really fucking good. I think I'm probably gonna watch it soon and up the score. I gave it 3.5. You know, it's so funny. There's a joke. I'm not gonna ruin the joke. There's a joke about the movie The Hangover. Um, that literally had me laughing for like 5 minutes straight. Like it's there's some jokes in here that are so good. What makes it so special though is how he's using film and like able to kind of like manipulate expectations or like manipulate things um using like tool like film like cinematic tools to do a lot of different things on like, you know, low budget uh like, you know, on a low budget scale. um that's what I'll say um about that. I definitely recommend it. I would say it lives I would say it lives up to the hype. It's tough because it's getting really crazy high reviews. um
4.4 or something right now.
yeah,
Something crazy.
really high. Matt Johnson kind of rocks though. So I'm just so happy for like him, and I hope he gets to make so many more movies. He's making like a
He's making Tony next, right?
yeah,
He's making the
and then
Anthony Bourdain
yep,
biopic.
and then he's doing like a Magic the Gathering movie, I think, which would be interesting. I don't know.
Okay.
Uh, okay, then I watched Thelma, which we'll talk about in a second. Um, and then I watched Dry Leaf. Um,
What was that? I've been wanting to watch that.
I'll send you a link. Or yeah. Uh, yeah, it was hard to find. But wow. It's it's a really crazy experience watching this. It's basically about a father whose daughter goes missing, and she's like a photographer for a magazine, and she was going to photograph soccer fields like in local villages. It's a Georgian film. I've never seen a Georgian film, so that was cool. And so he goes with her best friend who's invisible, and he goes and just kind of like goes up to, huh?
That's it. Cool concept.
Yeah. He basically just goes village to village, goes and asks people like, "Hey, have you seen my daughter?" And they're like, "Sorry, I haven't seen her." It's shot on a potato. It's like super low quality, like super low quality, um, digital, and how low quality it is allows for some really fascinating like manipulation of images. Like there's a moment, and it kind of like what I think of as like the third act, I guess. That is just like whoa, that's so cool. My favorite scene,
Does it feel long?
yeah, it's really slow. So you feel it. It's kind of like meditative in that way. There's a lot of just like in between. There's just a lot of just static shots of scenery, but it is it's one of the most beautiful films I think I've ever seen. Like it is so beautiful. Um, there's so many incredible compositions throughout it. Like really inspiring. Um, and I love the like this could go on like my favorite endings list. Like seriously.
Cool.
Um, yeah, that's all.
You just couldn't do it with the recency bias.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I watched it last night. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I put the Mastermind, on Trap. I got some recent
Yeah.
ones. Um, yeah, my favorite scene, if anyone watches it, is the car wash scene. So, if you know, you
Cool.
know.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, that's it. Your turn.
So I watched Sion Sono's anti-porno. It's so good. Uh, he does a lot of interesting things with how do I explain him? He's a very interesting filmmaker. Love Exposure is one of my favorite films of all time. So I was interested to see him work with us. It's shorter than 80 minutes, and Love Exposure is 4 hours long. So it's like, okay, let's see what he can do with a short runtime. And he grabs you from the beginning and doesn't let you go. It deals with like it's a very confusing movie. You don't know what's real and what's not because like it'll go 30 minutes and then boom, you realize that you're on a porn set. You're like, oh shit, this is all on a set. It just has all this weird thing and quirky things that the pretty much stays in one room, I'd say. And the production design's cool. Like each room is a different color. Um, yeah, I mean it's a very interesting movie. I don't know how much I can really say about it because it's just like doesn't really have a plot or meaning, and it's just visually cool and just keeps you engaged. It's like just one of those really fun movies that is just deep, but like you don't know how. It's like one of those. And then I watched Jack Rivette's Le Pont du Nord. So very interesting about so Rivette. I watched Celine and Julie go boating. That was my first film by him, and I've made it a mission to watch one film by him each month because I know he's like a really hard filmmaker to watch. So I'm like spacing it out, but I want to like get to 10 by the end of the year. Um, yeah, this is no, I guarantee you a lot of people who watch this will not like it. It's very slow, like no pace. The ending is great. He does this cool thing. Like you got to think that he's like you have to know like he's friends with Godard and all this stuff. Um, I would say he's more experimental than Godard actually. Like I looked it up. Like he has some shit that's pretty experimental, but in like a different way. He experiments with time a lot differently. A lot of his movies are a lot more slow. It's really hard to find a movie that's shorter than 3 hours by him. And I'm gonna watch Out One in June, which
Holy
is
shit.
a 13-hour long movie. Um, so yeah, Le Pont du Nord. It's basically it's also what's also very experimental by him is that you can't understand any of his movies. And he's also one of those filmmakers that goes on set without a script. So he's like Hong Sang-soo in that way, where he has the characters riff off each other for hours and he cuts it down. And they just walk around France and just do whatever the fuck he wants, and then he writes the synopsis after. Just so
Wow,
funny.
that's cool.
He has a very similar ending in this to Breathless, which is pretty cool. Um, it's the synopsis, like, which doesn't really matter with his movies because like they're not about that really. The synopsis is that like they're playing a board game within France. Like they build a map. They take a map of France and then they build like a circular piece board. And it's like, okay, the demons are here, so we can't go to this area. So we have to pass through here to get to the thing because we need to find this certain thing. It's like, what the fuck? You're just confused, and it's like they're playing life as a board game, and it's like, oh, you skipped 2 steps. Like, what the heck are you doing? And it's like really strange. And then the ending happens really, and she's like, one of the characters is very claustrophobic, so every time she does a phone booth call, she's like keeping the door open with her other arm because she doesn't want to feel stuck in the phone booth.
That's cool.
And then they're like randomly seeing each other and they're friends, but then like without any warning, one of them will just walk off and just be gone, and the other one just doesn't question it. It's like, okay, they're gone. I'll find them later, and they just run into each other later. It's just so strange, and it's like I love it. It's so fun. It's like really slow, so it's like boring, but it can be pretty cool in those ways. Yeah, so then I watched A Tale of Springtime by Eric Romer.
Oh,
So that's
cool.
my first Eric Romer movie. Um, Loved it. Um, Doing the same thing with him as Rivette, where I'm watching one per month, so I had to like rush to watch this one before midnight on the 31st. It's really good. He's also someone I'm very immediately interested in. It's cool that this year I'm like just kind of getting into filmmakers that I'm not like obsessed with. Like they're not getting 5 stars out of me, but they're just consistently good. And I feel like that's going to be the case of Romer, Rivette, Hong Sang-soo, Dardenne brothers, Soderbergh. Like those kind of 5 guys are just like someone I can rely on to watch a good movie. Tale of Springtime is like really slow and a lot of dialogue. I watched it really late at night, so I was like fucking tired as shit, and I did not know there was gonna be that much dialogue. I was
Yeah,
like, what the
it's
fuck?
pretty much
There's so
only
much
dialogue.
dialogue here. There's a scene towards the end of the movie that I fucking adore. And then I watched Haikyuu, the Dumpster Battle, which is an anime based off of the show um, about boys volleyball team. I watched the show in high school. I'm not up to date with like the new seasons or whatever, but I saw that the movie is like its own thing because it just deals with one tournament. So it's just guys playing basketball. It's just it's like whatever. It doesn't do anything interesting. It's just I know the characters and it's like cool to see them. And there's cool shots within like POV. There's a POV shot at the end. I love POV shots in animation. I think they're pretty cool. How they're able to like make the visual of like an actual person moving is really cool. Then I watched How to Make a Killing, and then I watched Send Help by Sam Raimi. Really good, really fun performance by Dylan O'Brien. Uh, yeah, I don't want to really talk about it too much because I know Luke wants to watch it. It's a really fun movie, cool digital filmmaking. Kind of feels like old a little bit, so I think you'll
Ooh.
like it. I don't want to hype it up too much,
Hell
but
yeah.
and then I watched the Super Mario Galaxy movie in theaters. I think it's better than the original, actually. Mostly because the fan service actually means more to me this time. Like Yoshi's in it, and Yoshi's like my favorite character. I always play him in like Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Or whatever. They have like a Mr. Game and Watch battle, which I thought was really cool, and King Kroll's in it. Just like a lot of cool fan servicey things. It just feels too kiddie to me. It just like doesn't serve adults at all. Whereas like some kid movies can like serve adults too, or have adult themes. It's so focused on being whatever the fuck it is, to where it's like, okay, this is just for kids. It's just slop. Um, I'll mention I watched The Killers by Andrei Tarkovsky, his first student film. Uh, it's cool. It's whatever. It's interesting seeing him start when he was like 19 or whatever, and he has a small cameo in it, which is really funny. I was like, oh, that's what he looks like, really young. It's kind of weird seeing him that young,
Yeah.
for sure. And then I watched The Gospel According to Saint Matthew on Good Friday. My first Pasolini movie, and I could talk about this movie for ages, but what I'll condense it down to is it's interesting knowing that Pasolini was a gay Marxist and an atheist, and he makes the most biblically accurate movie I've ever seen in my life. It's so he was so determined to make it accurate that every single piece of dialogue in it was actually in the Bible, which is so fucking cool.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and it deals with the entire book of Matthew, which obviously I know really well. Like I know the Gospels really well. And it's just cool to see them. Obviously, there's some things like it doesn't show the torture of Jesus, which I think is very interesting because I think that's an important part of the last day of Jesus's life, like him getting beaten to death. Um, which is kind of why. but a lot of people like hate Passion of the Christ because it feels like torture porn. I disagree. Uh, There's another thing too. It's like you can't. I don't think you can make a film that accurately portrays what Jesus went through. I guess because what he went through is so brutal. Like even Passion of the Christ is like not like he went through worse, which is like even crazier to me. Um, and that just feels like a 30-minute just slashing of the body, and like it was even worse than that, which is crazy. So it's interesting that he skipped that part, but he goes through the whole Bible, which is pretty cool, like him walking on water and shit, which is a really cool shot. Yeah, and the ending's good. So I actually really enjoy it. I still prefer Last Temptation of Christ as my favorite like Easter movie. I prefer watching these on Good Friday because they usually end with Jesus's death, which is when Good Friday is. None, I don't think I've ever seen a movie about his resurrection, which is very interesting. And then I watched the drama in theaters. I got like the first ticket I could get to in a packed theater at Alamo. Um, it was really fucking good. I could talk about this movie for probably 4 hours because I already have. Like, I've discussed it with the two people I'm really close with, the girl I'm talking to, and my best friend. We talked about it for 2 hours individually with each person. I think the coolest thing about it is the ending. The script is fucking remarkable. It's like one of the best scripts I've ever watched in my life. The editing and shit is really good. Pattinson is probably his best role, I would say. He's really fucking good in it. There's a scene at the very beginning where the movie kind of switches tone. The coolest thing is like not knowing anything about the movie going into it. I thought it was like a about two couples arguing until their marriage, like leading up to their marriage. It is not about that movie. It's not about that at all. It's a very political movie, which is why it causes a lot of discussion. I can't spoil why it's political because that spoils the plot twist, I guess. There's a plot twist about 20 minutes early. My biggest fault on it is that the plot twist comes too early, where the rest of the film kind of feels like it's leading up to nothing. But then the ending is fucking great. And then right after that, I watched the drama. I rewatched it the next day with my best friend because I gave it a 4 star when I first watched it, just because it was so shocking, like not knowing what it was going into it. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. You have a seat right next to you open, so I'll buy that ticket. Had to go to AMC for it, so I had to pay for the ticket or whatever. Um, the environment I watched it in, like the AMC theater, like they weren't into it as much. Like they weren't laughing at all the jokes that Alamo was. So I found it funnier the first time, just because it felt more like a collective laugh. I think I found it that people that go to Alamo seem to get more of the cinema jokes. Like he starts talking about a Louis Mal movie, and people all in Alamo got it, but then AMC it's like silence, you know. So it's like very interesting to like same thing with Sentimental Value. When I watch it at
Mm,
Alamo, like everyone got like the irreversible and piano teacher
yeah,
thing, like they're dying laughing.
yeah, yeah,
I guarantee you, an AMC theater's not really knowing what the fuck irreversible
yeah.
is.
I saw it at AMC, and me and one other guy were just laughing, and the whole theater was
Yeah,
silent.
so it's just I don't know. Maybe it's something about Alamo that I really enjoy more. Um, I actually appreciate the movie more on rewatch, even though my score went down. Because I was able to just be more logical with it and understand it a little bit more. I don't watch movies and I don't rewatch movies in theaters ever, so this is like a very rare occurrence for me. And I actually like the ending more. The ending is fucking great. I will be surprised if an ending is close to it this year. Like it's a really good ending, so it's kind of perfect. I watched it before this top 10 movie. And then I watched Oddity by Damian McCarthy.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's scary. I just think I've seen shit like this before, to where it's like it's not too shocking to me. Like I feel like there's a lot of movies that are like this where it's just like kind of creates doom in its environment, which is where it succeeds at. There's some scary jump scares, sure, but I it's really hard for me to find depth in horror movies. I know Luke's a lot different opinion wise with horror movies. Like he likes horror movies more than me for sure. I'm very critical of horror movies. Like there's like a different level of it. Like I don't care if it scares me. That's not what matters to me because I care more about like emotional depth in movies. Um, so yeah, I mean, Oddity's fine. I enjoyed the scary ride, but at the end of it, it's like, okay, that's a scary movie, sure, whatever. And then I watched Sunshine, so, and I'll talk about Sunshine, sure.
Yeah.
Um, Sunshine is really fucking great. It's better than Project Hail Mary in every regard. Visually, I think it's more interesting. There's this thing that Danny Boyle does at the end of that where like the screen is stretched where it looks compressed, which I think is really interesting. And I was actually not expecting it to be scary. It actually gets
Yeah, it
scary
goes into like a
at a
full blown
moment,
horror movie.
and I kind of like. So I think the movie started out very slow, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna really like this movie. I'm not a big sci-fi fan.
Hmm.
And then it kind of hit a switch where I was like, oh shit, this is a really fucking good movie. Um, Chris Evans is surprisingly really good in it. I actually really like
Really?
Chris Evans in it. Um,
That kind of makes me want to rewatch it because I don't remember him in that movie and I hate him.
he's like a main character. He's like
You
very
know, I don't
prominent in
remember a
it.
lot of that movie, but
So cool. I think the shots of the sun are really cool. I also like the concept of like actually going to our sun, like getting that close to the sun is really cool. Obviously, there's like logistical things that aren't right about it, especially towards like the end finale thing with where it's like, okay, he would be dead by now. You're that close to the sun.
oh yeah,
But also, I think the coolest thing about it is that the sun almost acts like a god in the movie. That I found really interesting. I think it's like has like its own character. Where like you're getting closer to the sun, and there's like an infatuation with the sun and like wanting to be one with it and like
yeah,
turn into dust. That's really cool. And there's a prominent character who like is obsessed with like looking at the sun. And then there's another character that you don't think is going to be there. Obviously, it's the big horror aspect of it. And his character is really interesting. I would love to hear more backstory on him, like how he got to that point. But I think it's almost more interesting that you don't know anything about him and you just kind of see a picture of him, and then you see him how he is now. It's like he's kind of like I'm one with God, and it's like he's like this never dying figure, which is really cool. So yeah, I think the movie's very visually stunning, and Rose Byrne has a shot with like this. It almost looks like she's crying, but it's like the sun's beams on her face. It's really cool. Yeah, it's a fucking great science fiction movie, and I loved it. So, I mean, I would say watch Sunshine if you liked Project Hail Mary, because I think it's better in every fucking regard. I think it sticks to a tone that actually makes sense the whole time. It's not funny at all. Um, I think I don't think science fiction really works well with comedy, honestly, because I think it works better with the doom and gloom of
yeah.
like emptiness of space. I also find it very interesting. I've noticed it in other science fiction movies, but in this one is more prominent of like how fast you're moving in space, but it doesn't feel like you're moving, which is really cool. Like you can see the ship going,
Mm.
and you're like outside the ship, and you can kind of feel wind, even though there's not wind, because they're moving so fast. I'm like, man. And always with these science fiction movies, it's just so interesting. Is I'm always thinking about how simple life on Earth seems, and how it's like I wonder what the people on Earth are thinking. Like, man, there's people really out in space, and it's cool that we're living in that moment right now. There's people in space right now going around the moon. It's like, wow, we're here on Earth doing our jobs, going to school, but there's
Hmm.
people literally in space right now, like
Yeah,
fucking by themselves, which is so interesting. It's so
yeah. It's
isolated
it's like
experience. Like
unfathomable.
the bonding is probably really cool. There's always some bonding experience with people in space, whether it's good or bad. But I think Gravity is still like the best with space because I think the sound design is so fucking perfect of that movie, and
Hmm.
it's kind of close enough to Earth where it feels tangible enough, and the fear of like being lost in space, but also being close enough to see Earth, and seeing Earth in that perspective is really cool. I also really like the ending of Sunshine. Um, I think it's really cool, like seeing the Earth all iced up and stuff, and they just so happen to be in Sydney, Australia, which is really cool because that's where I'm from. So,
Oh, cool.
love it.
Yeah, cool.
Let's talk Thelma.
All right, let's talk Thelma. All right, we're already at 2 hours about, and we could talk about Thelma for a long time. So I'll try to. I'm gonna really try to condense
If
it.
they're here for this long, fuck it.
All right. Yeah. So okay, Thelma begins with really incredible, like it's a hook, right? It's like really a hook of kind of her a little, well, it's Thelma and her father walking on a like this big ice lake, and she looks down and then there's like some fish like below the ice lake, and then she walks into the forest and her father's hunting and points the gun at a deer, and then as she's like looking at the deer, he turns the gun towards her, and she doesn't see, and then it just kind of like cuts to black and like jumps forward, and now we see a girl in college, and I mean that girl is Thelma. um Her parents are um you know, off the bat pretty overprotective. um they are Christian. You know, I mean, this is important. She basically starts to get severe seizures while she's at school, and doesn't really know why. I mean, okay, so I'll just say the seizures kind of begin when she starts to spark a love with a woman. You know, she's a lesbian. It's kind of revealed she's a lesbian, and um, yeah, is like interested in this woman, and whose name is Anja, and yeah, they kind of start a little thing. I like the way that it's kind of revealed that she's gay. Is she's in a restaurant with her parents, and she looks over at a gay male couple in the restaurant and kind of like smiles, and then looks over at her parents, and her face kind of like drops back to normal, like she's trying to contain like that feeling, like it's repressed, which is a very important theme, I think. And and then she kind of talks about how she said it's like, oh, it's ridiculous how people think like the earth was created in 6 days. You know, I can't believe people really think that. And then her father gets really mad at her and is like, don't act like you know more than other people, like, you know, stop with this attitude. Kind of like quick to correct her. Yeah, I think it's a very good scene. It's a very well edited scene. This movie is really, really well edited, which I really loved. Like, there's yeah, my favorite scene probably is just a little before we get into the like themes, is when her and Anja are with Anja's mother, and they're watching this play of and Anja starts to puts her hand on Thelma's leg, and like, you know, like flirty, and then her hand starts to like tense up, like she's gonna get a seizure, and she also has supernatural powers. Kind of like it's like hinted there's something supernatural about her, and then it shows she has some like supernatural abilities. But basically, in the theater, then this huge thing at the top of the theater starts swaying back and forth, and you're thinking like, holy shit, it's gonna fall on them and like kill everyone. Like, what the hell is going on? And they're watching this play, and the editing starts to build and build, and then she kind of just like leaves and bolts out of the theater, and then Anja goes to meet her, and they start making out. And I think that so okay. It's hard to like, there's so many things. So she's doesn't understand why she's having these seizures and doesn't really know she has supernatural abilities. That's kind of, I think, what is communicated. And then so she goes into the doctor to go to run some tests to see what it's, what's wrong with her. And they're basically like, it's not epilepsy, but these things can happen. The doctor says specifically that the body reacts to things being repressed, which is really important. Then she goes later and researches seizures, and it kind of goes into like a history of seizures. And there's a very important quote that I'm not quoting, but I'm paraphrasing, that these seizures are thought of as being possessed by God or the devil, depending on what time you live in, which is really fascinating. Okay. I and then I kind of, I go down the path of thinking that I think this possession and kind of supernatural ability, well, the possession, I think, like the seizures are kind of an allegory for her homosexuality, basically, and kind of like, either thoughts or actions that is maybe like looked at as sin, right? Like thought of as sin. And then there is I lost my train of thought. Hold on, I'll move on. So Thelma was also, it cuts back to her as a little kid, showing that she was born with these abilities. I think that kind of like proves what I was just saying, how homosexual people are, born that way, right? And that, she's born with these things, these kind of seizures and stuff also cause bad things to happen, which is interesting. And that is where the film kind of gets a little complicated and interesting, but I'll talk about that in a second. But it's also in conversation with nature. Like at the beginning, she looks at the fish, the deer is there. Whenever she has a seizure, like birds fly into windows and die, or the wind picks up or something. There's an interesting thing about like, are these feelings natural? Are they going against nature? Is this not what nature wants? Is this not what God wants? It's in conversation with that. That's yeah. So then it's revealed that she makes the baby, her little brother, she like teleported him in one flashback, and then another flashback basically like teleported him to the bottom of the frozen lake, and the kid dies, and the parents are aware of that. And then I think they know this thing about her that she doesn't know, that they're aware of this. And then in the movie, she makes the girl that she has a love interest with, that girl disappears. Okay. Oh. And I think this is that part's so interesting, because it's like it's kind of this she feels like these feelings that she's having are sin, like they're bad, and so she needs to like hide it and like ghost her, or just need to, that doesn't need to exist anymore. And so that kind of like feeling of shame and embarrassment kind of like leads her to her subconscious, making her like disappear. In the movie, like she literally disappears. Yeah. And I think her parents believe that she's the devil inside of her, because of that, as like a if I mean, religious parents would think that if their kid was gay, like they have like the devil, right? That could happen. and I think that's like the parents' perspective on it. Which I kind of thought of The Omen. Have you seen The Omen?
No.
Okay, I mean it's like the famous like Satan impregnated a woman, and now the
Oh, I've seen the
child.
first Omen.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So kind of, yeah, similar, right?
So
So
kind of,
like
yeah.
the baby's basically like the devil, right? Whatever.
Rosemary's Baby too.
Yeah, right. Rosemary's Baby, probably, yeah, more famous. Yeah. Um, I thought of that as like, oh, that's like an interesting spin on like, not that she is the devil, but I think her parents believe that, and
I think she believes it too. I have to pitch in and say like my favorite scene, the one that made me fucking love this movie, was there's like a party and she's sitting on the couch
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then she starts kissing her and their skin starts glowing and then a serpent starts crawling on her and the serpent is obviously like a metaphor for Satan, right?
hmm
And then just cuts and then she's like acting all weird. There's something so Thelma to me is fucking great horror because it's layered with religious stuff like you're saying like the parents are very controlling. I think the movie is all about free being like free from your parents' ideologies on how you should live. It's like you're your own human. You get to decide what you want to do with your life. Fuck everyone else, right? And I think that's like the journey of Thelma. Um,
yeah,
and I think it's shown great in like the way that it opens and closes with like the closing shot is zooming in on the college campus. I don't know. I think
yes.
Thelma's
It's like
fucking
the
brilliant.
conversation is what that reminded me of.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Thelma's a misunderstood masterpiece. Like it's fucking brilliant. You would never expect a movie like that from Trier, so I'm interested what you think of it coming from Trier, having seen Worst Person and Sentimental Value. It's very different in tone.
it is. It makes sense actually because this movie, it's not scary to me.
No,
Um,
it's not scary.
and it feels more like focused on these kind of like interpersonal connections, and it kind of is like, a lot more about like sexuality, and so like I see it, he doesn't go like full horror. So like,
No.
I was like, if he did that, I would be like, what the fuck, like Trier.
Yeah.
But it still is like definitely shocking because it's because tonally it's different.
I mean, the seizing scenes in like in the hospital are pretty. Those are pretty visceral moments.
Yeah,
Like where
I
she's
mean,
like just seizing
there's a
with
scene
the
where she's
lights
in the
and shit.
pool and she's trying to swim to the top, and it's like blocked off.
Covered. Yeah.
That scene is kind of like made me like, oh my, like, squirm a little bit. But there's a really important scene in the movie. I think the most important scene in understanding it is when she comes home and her father. I think she tells her father that she, is in love with the girl, and then he makes her go and kneel down and pray. And I think it's interesting because I think that, is under the implication that she's to blame for this, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like her fault.
She can fix it. Like it's fixable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she repeatedly says like she prays for a clean heart and strength for a new life. Um, it's really sad. Like it's really sad. She also like is like after that is like angry at God and says, quote, "Why are you doing this to me, and why can't I just be myself?" Really sad.
Yeah.
Like fuck. Her
Well,
father.
also it's also like kind of implied that like her physical powers almost make her God. Like isn't that kind of implied where like she kind of believes that she's God at some point? Like she's like the creator of certain things and she can manipulate space and time to where it's like she's God, which I think is like horrifying. I think that's the scariest aspect of it, of like her having these supernatural powers, and it's like, oh, she's like she has control over all these people in her life. Like the girl that she loves doesn't want to disappear, right?
Yeah. I, I,
Like
I have a I have a something on that kind of thing about her powers, that I'll get to, because it is, I think that is important, like her powers and like the like those actions, and there's something at the end that is important that happens too that's very different. um but she he oh the dad then says like the other girl that she made disappear only fell for her because Thelma wanted her, and he said, do you think she had a choice considering what's inside of you? Like kind of like that, like you're the devil and you're making like people do that. um it also like is kind of like it's unnatural, right? That like the homosexuality is unnatural, and like it must be, but it's but their romance is so romantic too, right? Like
yeah,
like I think they have such great chemistry. Like I love them together. I love the actress that
yeah.
played Anja. They have really great chemistry. Then um sh- okay, then she makes her father like basically like dies in a crazy. I won't get too into that because basically kills her father. Okay, basically kills her father, because I think it's her, like she's sick of not being able to be herself, and I think at this point it takes a turn of she's coming to accept herself for like who she is, and like accepting that she is like gay, and and kind of that he is. I think that it. He catches on fire. Okay, I think this is the film being like he's the devil, like he is the sinner for he's at fault for all of this wrongdoing, and once like he dies, like her mother comes up and asks her like where's the father, and then it's this great shot where she goes up to her mother, who's in a wheelchair the whole movie, goes up to her mother, doesn't say anything, touches her leg, and then leaves. And then it kind of True does a shot, or the camera's like attached to her, and she like goes up and like goes to her, and she's really like standing up, and she starts walking. So basically, Thelma made her able to walk, and it's just kind of like low-key like mic drop moment. um and yeah, then Thelma rejoins Anja, and then like it's kind of like this happy ending. Like Anja's back, and I think that is just kind of like her accepting like her sexuality, and um, I think on like the level of the actions, or like the repercussions from her acting sinfully, I think it's saying how like living in a time that is fully accepting of homosexuality is the best thing for society and will bring good in the world, right? Like that's what will bring good in the world, is a society willing to like accept that, um, because making people like repress themselves and creates an evil world. Like this creates a lot more issues in the world. Like making people like repress themselves, and like creating a society where that's not okay, is what causes those bad things. Back to like the quote of Caesars are thought of being possessed by God or the devil depending on what time you live in. Um, yeah, because the whole time she's what's happening, the repercussions of her sexuality are bad things until the end when she accepts herself, and then she can create good by letting her mother walk. All right,
Yeah.
that's it. That's my lecture.
I also love the score of that movie. I think it adds such a cool vibe, like throughout. Like it's like so perfect. Anyways, like yeah, Thelma's fucking great. I'm glad you liked it. I was really scared you weren't gonna like it, but I'm fucking glad you did because it's so. I think it's brave. It's a brave film, and I fucking love it. It's also like one of those movies that I'm just like I'm fine with like a lot of people not liking it. Like a lot of people like it, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't love it. Like I fucking love this movie. Like it's fucking peak. It's in my top 40 foreign films. So it's like there's something special. It's also like personal to me. Like I grew up with Christian parents, and it's like I know how Christians are with sexuality. Like I just know how that is. So yeah, good movie. So yeah, we're gonna go into recommendations for next week. Um, my recommendation to you is gonna be Oslo, August 31st. I'm gonna make you watch another Trier.
Back to back.
So the reason I'm doing this is because it has a fucking great ending. And I want you to see this movie. I think you're gonna. I honestly think this might be your favorite Trier. Um, yeah, there's some editing and stylistic choices at the beginning that's gonna fucking hook you. Like I know you're gonna love it. And I think it's Trier almost at its most simple. There's some brilliant shots throughout it with sound design and uh like the focus that like the pull push in and push out focus is so great. There's a scene, and I'll do the same thing that you did with like um a movie previous where you're like, oh, like with Dry Leaf, you're like, this is my favorite scene, the car wash scene.
Oh
There's
yeah.
a scene in a cafe. There's a scene in a cafe
Hmm.
that I want you to pay attention to with its sound design. It's fucking nuts. It's a really depressing movie about suicide. Obviously, it's about a guy on his last day of alive, basically. So yeah, and it's Anders Danielsen Lie, which is like one of my favorite actors. He's the guy in Worst Person and Sentimental Value for a little bit. But he's like the main focus. It's cool because I did the same thing that you're about to do. Is like Trier has an Oslo trilogy. It's part of a trilogy, and Worst Person of the World is the last of the trilogy. So we both watched Worst Person in the World, and then the second movie of the trilogy is Oslo, August 31st, and then the first movie of the trilogy is Reprise.
All right,
So
bring it
I'll
back.
I'll eventually make you watch Reprise.
Yeah. Next week.
And Reprise is a 5 star for me. So um yeah, so I'm interested. I actually don't think you'll like Reprise as much as Oslo. Just I think Oslo will be your favorite of the trilogy. Um, just because it just seems it's like a more quiet movie. It deals with like it's a lot slower. It's not high intensity. It's like very just based in conversation and just wandering around the city, which I think tunes to your type of filming more. Where you're like, okay, you're just kind of sitting here, and oh, there's a great shot on a bike too with like a fire hydrant or not a fire hydrant, fire extinguisher. That's so great. That was like my first introduction to Trier. Of like I had seen that shot on like clips on TikTok before. Um, yeah, and the sound design is great there, and the music choices in the club. It's just so fucking perfect. Um, Even though I have it at a 4 star, it's not that perfect.
Right.
But yeah, I think you'll love Oslo,
Cool.
August 31st. I
Yeah.
was like, fuck it, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make you watch back. But it's so differently tonally with Trier, so I don't think it's like gonna be too draining. Um, Kind
Yeah.
of get you into why I love Trier so much. I want you to join the bus of Trier
I'm
being a
joining the
modern goat.
hive. I'm
Yeah.
you know.
I think, like I said, I think Thelma distinguishes him as one of the best. Like, I think Thelma is so out of base for him, and it just so happens to be a fucking masterpiece, in my opinion, which is so strange. Like, of course, Louder Than Bombs is like his outlier, which I need to rewatch. But yeah, I think it's so. Thelma is definitely like what makes him so great, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I'm going to give you um The Mastermind because it's the one that you haven't seen and
Yeah,
I know you've been meaning to watch it and you just need a little push. Um
yeah.
how what other Kelly Reichardt movies have you seen?
I've seen Old Joy and
Okay.
oh my gosh, why am I forgetting this one?
First Cow?
No, not First Cow. It's the one with her dog, Wendy and Lucy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And Wendy and Lucy is so why I love Kelly Reichardt is
Yeah.
she's a Portlander. And so uh Wendy and Lucy actually takes place on like a street I used to drive on all the
Oh,
time. It's
cool.
in Beaverton, Oregon, which is like
Oh yeah,
Beaverton,
cool.
Oregon is where I grew up. And Oldboy is more of a Portland film. Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
what it's interesting.
Yeah,
So
I think
those
it.
are the two.
Yeah, I think it's a bad like first Kelly Reichardt, so that's why I was just like,
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it
oh,
should be good.
I think Oldboy is my favorite. Was my first and my favorite.
Hmm.
Uh, and then I watched Wendy and Lucy just because Karsten is like one of his favorite movies. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. Didn't love it, but I was like, okay, it's chill. But yeah, I'm excited to watch the Mastermind. I don't think I'll be too flabbergasted by the filmmaking style
Hmm.
of it. And Josh O'Connor gets me excited too.
Yeah, a little
And you
bit.
saying it's a good ending. Fuck.
Yeah.
Literally the only to anyone who ever knows me, if you say a movie has a good ending, first of all, I have to trust your opinion on movies. You can't be like, oh my gosh, you have to watch Shutter Island. It has like the craziest ending ever. Like no.
Yeah.
Or Interstellar or some bullshit. You know, like I have to like trust your opinion of being like, okay,
Yeah.
oh look
I
at that
was
Interstellar mentioned.
if anyone who loves Shutter Island watched this ending, they would probably say it's the worst ending they've ever seen.
Yeah, so it's like there's a difference between like film bro endings, so like with plot twists, where it's like okay, it's because
Yeah.
of the plot twist, which
There's
is
the
why I
plot
had to
twists.
say I don't like Old Boy's ending because of the plot twist. It's because of other things.
Yeah,
The plot
fair,
twist is
fair.
just what adds a layer.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if anyone says there's a good ending, I'll fucking rush to watch that movie if I trust
Yeah.
you.
Let us know what's your favorite movie ending if you made it this far.
Yeah,
Proof that you made it this
yeah,
far. Two and a
yeah.
half
Proof you
hours.
made it this far. Let's see the comment.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe too if you fucking made it this far. You guys must like
Please.
hearing us babble on about movies for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thelma
and then
lecture.
follow us on Letterboxd. It's below where we're talking right now, so that's where we are. I've never done that. It's like just the pointing thing. It's like click the thumbnail in the corner. It's
Yeah.
like little things like that. It's like I grew up watching YouTube and seeing people do that. It's like click the video in the corner if
Yeah.
you like this video, and it would pop up at the time. I'm like, that's so sick. I gotta click that video. Like little shit
Nah,
like
dude.
that. Just make yeah, I need you to start pointing to Tarantula sometimes too. You know that poster. Have you ever seen that
Nope.
movie?
I just got
I
it
was
for
like I've never heard
Christmas.
of that shit. Oh, okay. It's a cool poster.
It's a Jack Arnold movie.
Maybe we got to do a tarantula video, and then I'll get a tarantula poster. We could both point at it.
Yeah.
I need some space to fill up here. Maybe I'll get a 2001 poster or some shit.
Yep. Then I'll point over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, and hopefully you got some movie recommendations, and hopefully you didn't get spoiled because there's a lot of spoiler
Yeah.
videos. Maybe we do like a flash video, like visual thing at the beginning of the video, like please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, we don't want you to dock your experience watching these movies because you get spoiled. That's the worst thing in the world. So cool. Well, see you guys next week. We don't know what we're doing
The
next week, so
drama?
we might do a drama review. That might be the move because I kind of brushed over it this time because I
Mm-hmm.
could talk about it forever. Because Luke's seeing it what Wednesday,
I think
so
so, yeah.
doing a little switcheroo where I've already seen it twice. So you
Yeah.
have to see it twice before the next video, Luke. Ah, shit.
Yeah,
No,
we'll see
I'm
about
kidding.
that. All right. Bye.
All right, see you guys.